Hi guys, Sarak here again, and today I've got another budget deck for you, and this time it's Dinosaur. So this deck is very popular budget deck with the release of the Structure deck, which has been reprinted this year, which made it much easier to find. So, like with my Shadol deck, this profile starts with buying 3 copies of that deck. So the cards that come in that deck will not be included in the price tallies up in the corner, but will be included in the final price tally. This is going second build, so it's aiming to break the opponent's board and OTK. It's obviously missing a lot of the more expensive going second cards like Forbidden Droplets and Triple Tactics Talents and Lightning Storm, so they're potential upgrade paths later down the line. The deck is very competitive at the moment. So, without further ado, we have 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This is your big bad boss monster. It clears the board. It does huge amounts of damage. It attacks absolutely everything. It can Book of Eclipse your opponent's board in their turn to stop a combo. So you only run 2 because it can clog in your hand and you've got ways of fetching it out the deck, so you don't need more copies. But you want to have this card, and this card will win you games. 3 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor. This is your searcher of the deck. It allows you to take any dinosaur from your deck, add it to your hand, or send it to the graveyard. So it's a Rota or a Foolish Burial just by summoning it, and it works on normal or special summoning. Then you can also target one other level 4 or lower dinosaur, pop it, and then special summon one dinosaur from your graveyard. Note, it can target your opponent's dinosaurs, relevant in the mirror match, and just helps you recycle your resources. 3 copies of Miscellaneousaurus. This card gives your dinosaurs protection from all activated effects, and just by discarding it. So it gets itself out of your hand, which then allows you to activate its second effect, where you can banish it and any number of other dinosaur monsters in your graveyard to special summon a dinosaur from your deck with level equal to the number of monsters banished. Really good card. Has been limited before, may well get limited again. So now we come on to the babies. So we have 2 copies of Baby Cerosaurus and 2 copies of Petit Pteranodon. They're very similar cards. Petit Pteranodon, if destroyed by a card effect, special summons a level 4 or higher dinosaur from your deck. Baby Cerosaurus, if destroyed by a card effect, special summons a level 4 or lower dinosaur from your deck. Which just allows you to get so much extra fodder on the board for link plays, for overlays, for all of those types of thing, as well as being Earths, which will become much more important as the deck profile goes on. One copy of Giant Rex. This is a free special summon if you banish it. So say you've sent it to the graveyard, you banish it with Miscellaneousaurus to special summon one of your baby dinosaurs. Then you'll also bring out your Giant Rex. So it's just really good. It gains attack, which can be relevant in ending the game or in top deck scenarios, but it can't attack directly. It can still be normal summoned if you absolutely have to, and it's an Earth, which is again also relevant. Overtext Quatlus. This card is a negate and searches your evolution pills and its 2700 body that can be special summoned easily. So, now we get onto the True King component. So, I've got 2 copies of Agnimazad and 1 copy of Lithoscycum. So, Agnimazad is the fire one, Lithoscycum is the earth one. So, both of these you can destroy 2 monsters in your hand, including a monster of their attribute, and then special summon them. And if you do, if both of the monsters are the same attribute as the True King, then you gain another effect. Agnimazad allows you to banish 1 monster from your opponent's field or graveyard, and Lithosagim allows you to banish 3 monsters from their extra deck. So both of these cards can be very, very good at breaking boards, or Lithosagim's good if you're made to go first, and therefore you have to you can use it to essentially wipe their combo. They're also level 9s, which is obviously relevant for making True King of all Calamities. Those. 1 Dinosaur Pancratops. It's limited to 1. It's a dinosaur. It can special summon itself, and it can pop a card. And it has 2600 attack. It's a really, really good card, especially going second, so you run a copy. 1 copy of Dogoran, the Mad Flame Kaiju. It's a fire monster, it's a dinosaur, and it, again, helps out the opponent's board. Three copies of Droll and Lockbird. This is a hand trap that obviously is very, very good when you're going second. Stops your opponent from essentially doing a lot of combos because they can't search their combo pieces, and just prevents that happening. And then a Gamma package. Put this in because it's just, I feel, the best package for a going second deck at the moment. And on the off chance that they activate a copy, and say an Ash Blossom on a copy of Fossil Dig or Terraforming, then you can use, and you have the Gamma for it, you can use it to make Psyframe Lord Omega, which is a very, very strong card. So now we get onto the spell component. We have 3 copies of Fossil Dig, searches any level 6 or lower dinosaur. There's no more explanation than that. It's your rota. 3 copies of Lost World. This lowers all your opponent's monsters' attacks, so it makes battle very, very difficult. It gives them tokens that protect your monsters, and obviously tokens and defense position cards are very, very useful for Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Double Evolution Pill, 2 copies. This card allows you to bring out your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. It works with your True Kings because they're worm monsters. It works with your hand traps that you've used, and just allows you to bring out any level 7 or higher dinosaur monster from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. This can bring out your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno if you need it in a pinch. It can bring out your Coatlus if you need a negate. It can bring out your Pancratops if you need a pop. 1 copy of Dragonic Diagram. This is obviously for the True King component. It allows you to search True King cards from your deck and allows you to pop your baby dinosaurs or your Miscellaneousaurus or other cards that you want to destroy in hand to search them. And it also gives your True Kings a little bit more attack as well, which may be helpful. 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. If you can't break their board normally to get through an OTK, then Dark Ruler No More allows you to essentially go first. It allows you to negate all monster effects, so all effects that negates that they might have available are now shut off, which means you can break and build your own board to your heart's desire, and then hopefully OTK them on your next turn. So now we're just ending the spell component off here with 3 power 1-offs, 1 Foolish Burial, self-explanatory, 1 Terraforming, you play 4 field spells, you want to see them, and finally 1 Mind Control. It's again a very useful board breaking card, gives you free link fodder, free overlay fodder, and just clears the way for your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. So that's the main deck. Now onto the extra deck. The extra deck in this is very, very flexible. It can run all manner of rank 4s, rank 9s, can run rank 10s, can run so many different links, or even a few synchros if you want. So to start with, we've got 1 True King of all Calamities. You make this with obviously your True King cards. This is a big floodgate that, again, may well end up banned soon, and it's got 3k attack. It's really, really strong. perhaps borderline oppressive, just allows you to manipulate attributes of your opponent's monsters, and then if you happen to have another True King in your hand, then you can destroy monsters on their side of the field as well to summon them. One copy of Evil Tsar Lagia. Now, ideally, you'd run a copy of Evil Tsar Lagia and Evil Tsar Dolka, but Dolka is really expensive at the moment, so we just run one Lagia instead because it's considerably cheaper. This is an Omni-Negate by detaching 2 materials from it. One copy of Abyss Dweller. Graveyard decks are very good at the moment, or effects that activate in the graveyard happen a lot. This can just end games against those decks. Baguska, again, sometimes you have to go first, so you make a Baguska, you sit on it, and it just stops the opponent from doing a lot in their turn. Dugares. This allows you to extend combos massively. If you're aiming to OTK, then the downside of Dugares doesn't matter. It allows you to double the attack of an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno if you need the extra damage. It allows you to draw extra cards and filter your hand, or you can special summon any monster from your graveyard. So it allows you to make more link plays, get through extra damage for OTKs, or filter your hand. So it's really, really good in this deck, which ideally wants to end the game on turn 2. One Light Dragon at Ignista. This is non-targeting destruction that's on a generic rank 4, and it also protects all your monsters from destruction. One Tornado Dragon. Back row destruction. If they have an annoying floodgate that you can out with Tornado Dragon, or a field spell that you don't want on the field, it's very, very good. It's another option going first if they're a deck that relies on continuous effects like Virtual World, so you can hit them with that. Then we get into the link monsters. So we have one Boral Sword. Sometimes you can't OTK with just Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, so you use Boral Sword as well. One Borreload. This helps you out Towers type monsters, such as Dragoon, and just take control of them. Then we have our standard Nightmare package, all 3 main Nightmares, Cerberus for destroying monsters, Phoenix for back row, and Unicorn for just getting rid of any problem card. We have some Link 2s. So we have one Reaperdocus, which allows us to manipulate monsters to become attributes and certain types, which is more useful than you might think in this deck, especially with the True King component. It allows you to make... It's an Earth itself for Lithosagim, and it allows you to make monsters into fire monsters if you need to for Agnomazad. And it's just a generic Link 2 that can be made with any 2 monsters in the deck. Finally, we have one copy of Pentastag. This gives your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno Piercing, which when it can attack every single monster after Book of Mooning them, is really, really strong. And then the final card is one copy of Psyframe Lord Omega, which you just make if you can Gamma on your turn as a way to get an extra card out of your opponent's hand, to get rid of a hand trap or similar. So that's the full deck list. Now, to upgrade this deck has huge potential for upgrades. It's very, very meta relevant at the moment. So the first and most important card that you can upgrade with is one copy of Animadorned Archosaur. Now, I got this before it jumped in price, and this card is really, really good in the deck. It allows you to search your copy of Evolution Pills or any dinosaur monster in your deck with the same level as one you have in your hand. It's currently running at about £40 a copy at the moment. I was trying to make this deck cheap enough to fit a copy of Animadorned Archosaur in, but it would have meant an incredibly gimped extra deck. without all the options that I've put in it currently. So if you have a copy or can afford the extra money, it's definitely worth it to get at least one copy of Animadorn Dinosaur. Other cards that you can look at, I mentioned Devolzar Dolka. That's running about £15-20 a copy at the moment. It allows you to negate monster effects, again on a generic rank 4 with any 2 dinosaurs. Other cards are your standard going second cards, which again are really, really expensive. You can put in copies of Pot of Extravagance, although you'll want to tune the extra deck so you have multiple copies of the important cards in there if you want to run Pot of Extravagance, because the deck generally doesn't use its extra deck. The hand traps, as always, are tunable to whatever you want to use for your meta. And similarly, you can add a copy of Jurakiolo, which is about £8-9 a copy, as another fire monster, as a level 1 tuner, which allows you to add a few more synchros in or make Omega a little bit more consistently because you run more level 7s. And finally, in the extra deck, a copy of Access Code Talker would be very, very good. A copy of the new Zeus, Divine Arsenal Zeus, would also be very, very good for the extra deck, or a Halqifibrax Link Cross package, which would allow you to go first much more consistently.